you are not here by chance. Everything you have experienced up to this moment has been part of a plan, a divine design that has brought you exactly where you need to be right now. Today, as you hear these words, something inside you is moving, an energy, a conviction that you cannot ignore. You have long felt that there is something more to you, a greater purpose than simply existing, than just surviving day in and day out. Let me say this with complete certainty, it's true. You've been chosen for something extraordinary. Think of all the times you felt misunderstood, all those times when you seemed out of place, as if you belonged in another world. That wasn't a mistake. It was not a coincidence. It was a sign. A sign that you were created for something different, something greater, something that is about to manifest in your life in a way that will surprise everyone around you. Those who underestimated you, who saw you as an ordinary, are about to witness the resurgence of a new person, a version of you that even they didn't believe possible. Since the beginning of time, there has been a truth that resonates in the scriptures. God chooses His own, separates them and shapes them, not for an ordinary life, but for something transcendental. And now is your moment. While others slept, you were awake, working in silence, planting the seeds of your new life. You have faced trials, losses, and every blow you have received has only made you stronger. Not everyone understands the process of the chosen one because it is a lonely path, a journey that few are willing to take. But you, with your faith and determination, kept moving forward, even when there seemed to be no hope. I want you to understand this. What is about to happen to you is a radical transformation, a change so profound that even you will be in awe of what is developing within you. This is not just any moment. This is your moment, the instant when all the promises, all the prophetic words, and all the dreams you carry in your heart are about to be fulfilled. And even if others don't see what God is doing in your life, even if they don't understand why you continue to have faith, you know, in the depths of your being, that something great is on the way. Remember the words of the prophet Isaiah. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now, it is coming out into the light. Do you not understand it? Again I will make my way in the desert and rivers in solitude. This is the verse that should resonate in your soul, because just as God has made ways where there were none, He is opening up a new way for you. A path that will lead you to a life full of blessings, a life that will not only satisfy your needs but exceed your expectations. Now, think about everything you've been through: loneliness, betrayal, moments of doubt and despair. How many times have you asked yourself, why me? Why does it seem that I always have to fight harder than others? Why does success take so long to come to my life? This is because you have not been called to an easy life. You have been called to a life with purpose, to a special mission. You have been separated and trained in darkness, like a warrior preparing for the final battle, to go out into the world and shine with a light that no one can ignore. From this moment on, I want you to understand something crucial. The suffering you have endured has not been in vain. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of uncertainty was used by God to prepare Him, to strengthen His spirit and sharpen His mind. He has worked in you like a goldsmith who cuts the most precious jewel. What lies ahead for you is great, something you have never seen before, something you cannot imagine. But I promise, it will be much better than you expected. Yes, there will be those who will doubt you, who will try to minimize what you are achieving, because they cannot see what God has deposited within you. They cannot comprehend the magnitude of the calling you carry in your life. But I tell you, don't pay attention to the skeptics. Don't be distracted by criticism. Focus on your mission, on the divine purpose that has been sown in your heart. You are about to experience an explosion of blessings, a manifestation of God's power in your life that will leave everyone speechless. This is the moment when everything changes for you. The door you've been knocking on for so long will finally open. Dreams that seemed impossible will begin to take shape. The paths that seemed closed will open. And best of all of this will happen before the eyes of those who didn't believe in you. Not out of revenge, but as a testimony to God's power and what He can do in the life of a true believer. You have been chosen to be a living example, to show others what is possible when you fully trust in God's plan. Today, I invite you to prepare yourself, to lift your head and open your heart. What is to come is big. What is to come is wonderful. And you are the protagonist of this story. You have not come this far to live an ordinary life. You have come this far because the Creator of the universe has decreed that this is your time to blossom, to manifest all the power that has been deposited within you. And very soon, you will see how your new life will surprise everyone. If these words resonate with you, if you feel that this is your moment, then move forward in faith, because the best is yet to come. You have reached this moment in your life with a mixture of expectations and dreams. Perhaps he spent years working in silence, building, learning, and facing challenges that he often didn't even share with others, because he knew that not everyone would understand the process he was going through. You knew there was something unique about you, something that couldn't be explained easily. And that's precisely why she felt loneliness on her path. Not a sad loneliness, but the loneliness of those who have been separated, chosen for a special mission. From the beginning, you had this feeling, almost like a whisper in your heart, telling you that you were destined for something greater. You couldn't always put it into words, but you felt it. You felt that your life had a greater purpose, that there was something extraordinary waiting for you, something that went beyond what most people experience. That inner voice has never lied to you. That voice was the echo of a deeper truth, a divine truth that has guided your every step, even when you could not see clearly. Throughout the Bible, we see stories of men and women chosen by God to fulfill important missions. In many cases, they also faced periods of waiting, of tests, of silent preparation. Think of Moses, who spent years in the wilderness before he was called to free his people, or Joseph, who was sold into slavery by his own brothers and unjustly sent to prison before being elevated to the position of power God had planned for him. These probation periods were not punishments, but necessary preparations. God was shaping their hearts, strengthening their faith, and refining their abilities so that when the time came, they would be ready to fulfill their purpose. Like them, you also went through your own desert. He faced moments of pain, betrayal, and loss. You've seen people you trusted walk away from you or turn their backs on you in your darkest moments. And through it all, here you are, stronger, wiser, and more prepared than you've ever been. Perhaps there have been nights when you have wondered why you had to go through so much, why it seemed that your prayers were not answered immediately. But what you didn't know is that God was listening. He was working behind the scenes, arranging everything for his good, even using hardship to set the stage for the blessing that is about to pour over his life. It is natural that, during this process, you have felt moments of doubt. We are human, and when we face uncertainty, our faith is tested to the fullest. It may have felt like you were taking steps in the dark, not knowing where you were going. But I want you to understand that all this time, you were walking toward your destination. Every step, even the ones that seemed like mistakes, was used by God to bring you closer to this moment, because God's plan for your life is perfect, and His timing, even when we don't understand it, is always the best. Many wonder why some seem to be chosen for great things while others lead more ordinary lives. The answer is not in luck or chance, but in the call that God has placed in their hearts. He sees beyond what we can see. While the world focuses on superficial success, God looks to the heart. And in his heart, he saw something special. He saw a faith that doesn't break easily, an ability to persevere, even when things get tough. He saw your desire to do good, to make a difference in the world, and he responded to that desire by guiding you down a path that, while difficult, led you exactly where you needed to be. The people around you may not understand this process. It is possible that they have even criticized or mocked their dreams. Perhaps he was told that he was naive for believing in something so great, for having faith in a better future. But I want you to remember this. People can only see what is in front of their eyes, but God sees beyond. He sees what is still hidden, the masterpiece he is creating in his life. While others looked at you and saw someone ordinary, God saw someone extraordinary, someone chosen to do something great. And that's exactly why you were set apart, not to be just another in the crowd, but to stand out, to be a living example of what's possible when you walk in faith and obedience. Now, you are reaching a crucial point in your life. This period of preparation, this time of darkness and trials, is coming to an end. You are on the verge of a revelation, of a new dawn. The Bible says, at Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11, He has made everything beautiful in its due time. And that time is now. The waiting period is over, and the time to act has come. You are about to see how everything you have worked for, everything you have believed in, will manifest in a way that will exceed your expectations. God is not a God of empty promises. When He says He will do something, you can be sure that it will be so. And what He has promised you is an abundant life, full of joy and blessings. The most amazing thing is that your success will not only be for you. When God blesses, He has been preparing you to be a light, an inspiration to others. Many people are watching their lives, some with skepticism, others with hope. And when they see you elevate yourself, completely transform your life, you will perceive the power of God working through you. You will be a living testimony, an example of what it means to be chosen and to live according to divine purpose. Now, as we continue this journey toward your awakening, I want you to think about all the times you have been on the verge of giving up. In the moments when everything seemed to fall apart and you wondered if there was any purpose in so much suffering. Perhaps He thought that God had abandoned him, that his prayers had been lost in silence. But let me tell you something that will change your perspective. In the darkest moments, God was closer to you than ever before. While you felt that you were at your lowest point, He was working in your heart, eliminating the impurities, removing everything that did not fit the great plan He has for your life. We must not forget that gold is purified in fire and diamonds form under intense pressure. You've been like that gold, like that diamond. Every test He faced was like a flame that refined him, every challenge was a pressure that shaped his character. And although you often wished the pain would end, God knew exactly how much you could bear. He didn't leave it in the fire for a second longer than necessary. Now, after so long, you are about to emerge with a strength and a brilliance that no one can ignore. That no one expected. I want you to take a moment and consider something profound. How many times have you seen people achieve success effortlessly, who seem to have it all without going through difficulties? And yes, it can be tempting to compare yourself, to feel like they have something you don't. But this is a trap of the mind. What you are creating is something much more lasting, something with solid foundations that will not be knocked down by the first wind of adversity. What God is doing in your life is preparing a blessing that no one can take away. It is not something superficial or temporary, but an eternal blessing that will impact not only your life, but also the lives of everyone around you. At this point, I want you to think about the story of David. Before he was king, he was just a shepherd, a young man no one took seriously, underestimated even by his own family. When the prophet Samuel went to seek the future king of Israel, they did not even consider David. But God considered him. God was not deceived by outward appearances. He looked into David's heart and saw his faith, his courage, his humility. And although David spent years being persecuted, living in caves, and facing dangers, he never stopped believing in the promise God had made to him. His time of preparation was long, but when the time came, he was exalted as the greatest king Israel ever had. You are like David. He went through a period of preparation and waiting. Perhaps it felt as if it were hidden, as if it were in the shadows while others prospered. But I want you to realize something crucial. The roots of the strongest trees grow in the darkness, underground. As long as no one saw him, as long as no one understood his process, his roots were growing deeply. You were developing a solid, unshakable foundation, so that when the time came, you could sustain the greatness God is about to pour out upon you. It is difficult to understand this process while we are in the middle of it. Uncertainty often shakes us, and we can't see the end of the tunnel. But here's the truth. Probation periods produce the most powerful testimonies. Without the night, we wouldn't enjoy the dawn. Without pain, we would not value healing. And without the battles, we wouldn't experience victory. The success you are about to achieve will be so great precisely because you have walked through the fire. When others hear your story, they will realize that it was not luck or chance that got you where you are, but your faith, your perseverance, and God's hand guiding every step. Now that you're so close to your transformation, it's crucial to stay focused. The moments immediately before victory are often the most challenging. It is when the enemy tries to make you retreat, when doubts and fears intensify, trying to get you to give up just when you are about to cross the finish line. This is the last test, the last battle, before God's promises are revealed in your life. Stand firm. You are about to witness something extraordinary, reserved for you. And you, with everything you have learned and overcome, are more than prepared for this stage. Do not allow anything or anyone to steal this moment. Imagine, for a moment, the impact your transformation will have on those around you. Those who maybe didn't believe in you, who turned their backs on you or doubted your abilities. They will be witnesses of God's power manifesting in your life, not because you need their validation, but because God uses His chosen ones as living examples of His grace and power. When they see what you have achieved, when they witness the change in you, many will be inspired to seek their own purpose, to discover what God has in store for them. Your life will become a light, a beacon that will guide others in their darkness. What comes to you is not simply an improvement in your circumstances. It is a complete renewal. It is like a seed that has been planted, watered, and cared for, and now breaks through the soil to flourish and bear fruit. This is your time to blossom, to show the world the beauty and strength that has been building within you all this time. It doesn't matter how long you've waited, nor how many times you've felt like all was lost. God does not forget His promises, and the promises He has made to you are about to be fulfilled in a way that will leave everyone in awe. Move forward with determination, for you are on the threshold of your new life. The life you've dreamed of, the life you've prayed for, is about to come true. His life has been like a book full of complex chapters, with moments of suspense and anguish, but also of growth and revelation. Every experience you have had, from the most glorious to the most painful moments, has been a page written with precision, with the purpose of taking you to the exact moment you are in now. And I know it can be hard to see that while you're in the middle of the storm, when confusion and chaos seem to envelop everything. But what we often forget is that the storm does not come to destroy us, but to purify us, to eliminate what no longer serves us and to make way for something new. Think of a time in your life when everything seemed to be falling apart. Maybe you've lost someone you loved, or you've seen a dream you've worked so hard for disappear before your eyes. In these moments, the pain is so intense that it feels almost physical. We feel that there is no hope, that the future is uncertain, that we are on the verge of shipwreck. But what we can't see at that moment is that these losses are, in fact, divine redirections. God was moving pieces in your life, removing what was blocking you, which prevented you from achieving the true greatness for which you were intended. The scriptures are full of such examples. When God calls someone for a special purpose, He doesn't leave them in the same place. Think of Abraham, who was called to leave his land, his family, and everything he knew to go to a place that God would yet show. Abraham didn't know where he was going, but he obeyed because he trusted in God's plan. And that confidence led him to become the father of a great nation. Despite all odds against him, if Abraham had clung to the known, if he had refused to step out of his comfort zone, he would never have experienced the fullness of the promise God had for him. The same happens with you. Maybe you're at a stage in your life where God is calling you to leave something behind, a relationship that's no longer healthy, a job that takes away your peace, or a thought pattern that keeps you stagnant. This process can be painful, because our natural instinct is to cling to what we know, even when it causes us suffering. But here's the key: to receive what God has prepared for you, you first need to make room. You can't fill a glass that's already full. Often, in order for God to pour out His blessings on you, He must first empty the container of everything that defiles you. The Apostle Paul expressed this beautifully when he said, forgetting the things that are behind and reaching forward to those things that are ahead. This is the call to you today, to leave the past behind. Let go of the resentments, fears, and doubts that keep you stuck, because what is to come is so great and so abundant that it cannot be contained by a heart that is still clinging to the wounds of the past. God is ready to do something new in your life, but He needs you to be ready to receive as well. And that means giving up. Let go of all that no longer serves, all that is not aligned with the life you are about to create. You have been chosen for this transformation. And although the path has been difficult, you are about to understand the purpose of each test. God wastes no experience. Even the moments that seemed like failures were actually lessons. Every door that closed, every missed opportunity, was a redirection for something better. Although, at the time, you may have felt frustration and sadness, you will soon realize that it was God's hand guiding you to a far greater destiny than you could have imagined for yourself. It is essential that, at this stage of your life, you keep your eyes open and your heart willing. Blessings often come disguised as challenges. The problem is that we are so focused on what we lack, on what went wrong, that we cannot see the present hidden behind the obstacle. But you are different. You have been prepared for this moment. It has been trained to see beyond the surface. While others give up at the first sign of difficulty, you have the ability to look beyond and see the potential in what others discard. That is one of the reasons why God chose him. There is a verse in Jeremiah that says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans for peace and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." He has a plan for you. A plan full of peace, prosperity, and success. While the paths you've traveled so far haven't been easy, each one of them has brought you one step closer to that glorious destination. You may not yet be able to see how all the pieces fit together, but I promise you that when you look back, you will realize that it all made sense. Every pain, every tear, every disappointment was a piece of the puzzle that God was putting together in your life. What you are about to experience is a revelation. It's as if you've walked through a dark tunnel for a long time, and then suddenly you see the light at the end. This light is not only the end of your suffering, but the beginning of your new life. A life full of purpose, joy, and satisfaction. It is a life that you have built with your own hands, with your faith, with your perseverance. And while he sometimes felt lonely, he was never really alone. God has been with you every step of the way, guiding, protecting, and preparing you for this exact moment. The people who have seen you struggle, who have witnessed your moments of weakness, are about to see your rebirth. They don't know what was going on inside of you, they can't see the work God was doing in your heart, but soon it will all be revealed. And when that happens, there will be no doubt that you have been chosen, that there is a greater purpose behind your life. You will surprise everyone, but most importantly, you will surprise yourself. Because what God is about to do in your life is greater than you could ever imagine. You are about to enter a season of plenty, a season of harvest. And whatever you have sown in tears, you will reap in joy. You've made it this far because you're ready. Ready to leave behind doubts, ready to leave behind pain and insecurities. Today is the day when your spirit rises, when your soul recognizes its true worth. The desert, the fighting, the storms, all of that is behind us, and now finally the dawn has come. You're about to surprise everyone with the new life you've created. A life that was not the result of luck or chance, but of your faith, your perseverance, and the grace of God working in you. Today, the doors of heaven open to you, and the entire universe breathes in harmony with the purpose you carry. I want to invite you to take a moment, wherever you are, and close your eyes. Allow your spirit to calm down, let your heart connect with the divine presence that is here now. Let's pray together, because I know this is your moment, your time of transformation. Repite conmigo estas palabras. Lord, I come to you with a humble heart full of hope. I recognize that everything I have experienced has prepared me for this moment. I thank you for each test, because through them you have strengthened me. Today, I accept your plan for my life. I surrender to your will and declare that I am ready to receive the blessings you have prepared for me. I renew my faith and my commitment and rise up as the chosen one you have molded. Let me be an example of your power and your love. I surrender my fears and doubts to you and accept the new life you promised me. In Jesus' name, Amen. Feel the power of this prayer resonating within you. Feel how your spirit rises, how your hope is renewed. Because this is not just a statement, it is a decree, it is an affirmation of who you are and who you are meant to be. You are inevitable, because what is written by God cannot be stopped by any man, no circumstance, no obstacle. I want to invite you to affirm this truth. I want you to write in the comments these two powerful words: I am inevitable. Write with conviction, declare to yourself and to the universe. Because today you recognized your power. Today, you have accepted your fate. Su inevitable is your mantra, it is your promise, it is your truth. And as you write, feel how that statement takes hold in your heart, how it becomes a part of you. If these words have resonated within you, if you feel that this is your moment, I invite you to join this community by subscribing to the channel. You are not alone on this path. Here, you will find other chosen people, people like you, who are ready to walk in their purpose, to live a life of power and abundance. Sign up now and be part of this family, because together we are stronger. And if you feel in your heart the desire to support this ministry, to be an active part of what we are building, I invite you to consider becoming a member of the channel. Your support allows us to continue sharing this message of hope, touching lives, and helping others find their way. Become a member today and receive exclusive content, access to a closer community, and the satisfaction of knowing you're making a difference. Also, if you feel the desire to be generous, if you want to sow a seed of faith, you can do so through the link in the description. Remember, it's not an obligation, it's an opportunity. An opportunity to give from the heart, to contribute to this work and to see your generosity multiplied in your life. Because when you give with love, when you give with intention, God always blesses you in unimaginable ways. Today, I declare you free, renewed, and blessed. Keep moving forward with confidence, because you are chosen. You're destined for something big. There is no turning back, because their fate is inevitable. This is your season of victory, your moment to shine. Always remember, you are inevitable, and the best is yet to come.